While we wait for our replacement Leopard catamaran in France, we try to escape the COVID lockdown, but we find our boat is filled with salt water. So join us as we push our little Macgregor 26 to the limits.
So here we are on the east coast of Australia, sailing in the Everglades, which is at the north end of Lake Cootharaba. When we were about halfway up the Everglades, we got phone messages saying that there was an immediate COVID lockdown that was coming in at 4 p.m. that day, and we made the decision to try and escape. So follow us on our frantic dash out of the restricted area.
I don't know, honey, about... I don't think we're going to make it.
At this point, it would have been very easy to give up because Ellie was suffering as she was recovering from an illness, and it seemed like a very long shot to be able to get out of the area in the time frame. However, we made the choice to push on because we suffered the risk of missing flights back to the US if we were locked down for an extended period.
Well, let's just see, honey. I mean, it's a big risk because if we get locked down for two or 3 weeks or a month, we're really in a bit of strife.
Oh.
Pushed the boat this fast before because we've never been in a hurry, but today we are. So we've emptied the water out of the ballast and we're just seeing how it goes. We tried in the open lake, but we were too shallow. I think the engine was hitting the bottom all the time because it was so shallow. And we're going really nicely now.
11 knots. Gone up to get the car and the trailer, and he's gonna put them in four-wheel drive and then back it up to here, and we'll pull the boat up as far as we can, and then he'll attach the hook and wind it in. So that's got to nestle into that little V there. This strap is like reinforcement. Okay, so I'm pushing it away. So you can see up the front, when you bring it up, it moves away from that little V. John's now opened the ballast even more. Even though we had drained it, you can see all that water pouring out of the ballast. So can I actually say how weird it feels to actually be letting salt water into the bottom of your boat deliberately? It's a weird feeling. You can feel it sinking down, getting lower and lower, and you just got to remember to put that bung in. But that keeps the boat really stable. If you don't have the ballast in there, you can go a bit faster, but the boat's not as stable. And I found just for comfort and stability and manageability, it's better to have the ballast, at least some ballast in there. But you've got to remember to close that one. Some people don't put the ballast in at all.
Yeah, if you're just using the boat for motoring, you don't need to put the ballast in. But if you are going to be putting the sails up, you really do need to have the ballast in because that's what stops you capsizing. But I mean, there's a few recommendations or rules, guidelines inside the boat about if you have no ballast, always have your people on in the cockpit at the back. Don't have them standing on the foredeck or the top of the deck while you're motoring.
That's amazing that much water's come out even though we've emptied it.
On the flat, so that's clearly that's the water that doesn't drain out, like
When it's flat.
yeah.
Don't drink it, but hey. So you can see that when John pulled the boat out of the water, he picked up the engine high enough and also the back platform high enough so that it wouldn't hit as he's going up.
You've actually got to elevate the platform when you're motoring, you know, to have it probably a foot out of the water. Otherwise the wake catches it and slows you down.
That's why it's got it tied up to that rope there, so you can just adjust it as you like. I reckon that's okay, honey. Let's go.
Anytime you're doing this, Dan, just make sure there's no trees or power lines when you're driving with the mast up. You've got to take the boat out, drop the mast as soon as you possibly can, okay?
Okay, so here is better. No overhead power lines and no trees.
So pass that over. Put that piece through first, then do that, and then it'll lock. I always get confused how this works, but basically there's a release thing here which allows you to get it all the way up or all the way down. Now I've just got to, when it's all the way down and compressed like that, you can pull it through to get more distance. So this lever has got to come out from the boat, so this has to sit that way on the boat. Got to pull that out, crack it all the way up there, and then when you pull it down, I believe, there we go, then you can take up the slack. So to tighten it up, you just pull it until you get some tension, pull this button down, and then you can start cranking. Not too tight, you don't want to crack the hull of the boat. When you're all done, lock it in like that so it lies flush, and the spare thing, which is quite a lot, I tie it with clove hitches up in the top of the boat so it doesn't fly off down the motorway. So, okay, you don't need to do that all up with a, it's not going to be up for long enough for it to unravel. The next easiest bit to do is to attach the rope to the front loop. I just slip the loop through there. So now that's taking the weight going forwards. Now we have to disentangle all these lines. And clicking it in that way works the best. So then these wires attach down here.
This rope attached to there, that wire attached to there, and then one stringer here and the other one attached to.
Okay, so just tighten it up so that it takes the tension of the mast from falling backwards.
So John's just tying these up with a bungee because to stop it knocking on the side. You can see there's two little dots there where it's worn off the paint. So bungee bag, and then what we do is we strap all of the loose flappy halyards and everything together, so when you're on the road it doesn't flap and carry on.
So after we rushed to get the boat ready for trailering on the motorway, we headed across the small country roads to get to the motorway, which is the A1 northwards. Our time limit of 4 p.m. was very close, and as we were about halfway towards Gympie, Siri told us to leave the highway and get onto the small country roads. This was a really difficult decision because the road was both smaller and slower as well as longer, and I had significant concern that there might be police barriers at the border of the exclusion zone. However, we put our trust in Siri and took the side road and reached Gympie close to the 4 p.m. deadline. But the next day we heard that the roads were so busy with people trying to escape the COVID lockdown that there were 3-hour tailbacks on the A1 northwards, and that would have been an absolute catastrophe. So thanks very much, Siri, who is our friend Karen Jacobson, who actually comes from our hometown of Mackay. Fortunately, we saw no police roadblocks at all, and when we got to Tin Can Bay, we had a nice rest in the boat in a car park, using the boat as a caravan. Here you can see us in the car park, and you can often sleep in areas where they don't allow caravans just because they don't think that you would sleep in a boat. So thank goodness we did escape the COVID lockdown, and now we could enjoy the sights of Tin Can Bay and explore the wonder of the Sany Straits and Fraser Island.
Today is very exciting. What are we doing, honey?
I am so excited. As a surprise, my honey yesterday went and found out about feeding the dolphins. So we had to get up really early this morning. As you can see, the sun's just got up, and we're off to feed the dolphins. So come with us. Feeding time.
Today we have one Australian humpback dolphin in harmony.
This lad here, he went away for about 10 years, and they do go right out into the southern Sany Straits and to the bottom of Fraser Island, and somewhere along the way he had a run-in with a couple of sharks, and the people of Tin Can Bay took care of him. He was in a bad way, and he got better and returned to his habitat, and when he came back he brought some other dolphins with him. They seem to enjoy the interaction with humans. They're in no way dependent on us, and we don't touch them either. We keep them as wild as wild can be. And in the wild they live around about 45 years.
Yes, when he came back in, you can see that he had been rewritten in this same place, okay? So this here was definitely bull sharks, okay? Yeah. Is there any questions at all?
They do have a sleep and they shut one side of their
Brain.
down. These
Oh, yeah.
guys. Yeah, that's how they sleep.
Yeah, crocodiles do that too, I've heard.
Yeah, because obviously they can't shut
Every-
it all down. They've
Uh-huh.
got to remember to breathe in and out of the blowhole and watch out for predators. So. How's that?
Very good.
Excellent.
And they stand about here. Good. Wonderful. A little bit closer. We don't want to beat you up, poor little boy. And put your hand very flat for me. So sorry, up the fish. Thumb on top of the fish to hold it. And then put it all the way under the water. He'll come to you, under the water, and then hand out of the water. Here we go. What a gentle boy.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
I mean, he looks like a bruiser, but he's and he's just about here so we don't beat him. As he walks. Yep, he's giving you a kiss, a dolphin kiss. Thumb on top of your fish, all the way under the water. There we go, and then hand out of the water.
And he sucks it in.
Yeah, they do not chew, they just swallow.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. Hey, Harmony.
Remember to wash your hands.
Thank you so much.
Remember to wash your hands.
Yep.
Every time.
So we're here at Tin Can Bay, and we this morning have seen the dolphins. We fed the dolphins, and now it's splash day. So we're going to go over to the slip over there and splash the boat. But we've got to rig it first, which takes us around about 50 minutes. So we'll see you soon.
Let's see how fast it goes without ballast. For a short while.
Okay. So we just got up to 12.5 knots with no ballast end. That means no water to weigh us down. So that's pretty good.
It was. There's the water in the tanks for washing and drinking, so we're still weighed down quite heavily. But that's pretty good for a little 26-foot boat, sailboat.
Yeah.
But now 7.2 knots just feels so slow. Oh.
Are we going to put any ballast in here?
Oh yeah, that's good. What about the ballast?
I'm just going to go for a paddle. So this is the other side, and that is Fraser Island. So it's a beautiful beach, lovely blue water,
And lots of sand,
lots of sand.
because it is the Sany Straits.
It is the Sany Straits. Excuse me. I was trying to go for a nudie swim. Not really a spectator sport. Must be almost time for 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Come aboard!
Meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden.
If you have liked this episode, hit the like button, subscribe for free, and ding the dong so you don't miss your fix of the next exciting episode. Love and health from the Barefoot Doctors.